Hi, this is Omar from Group Consultancies, and this is part 7 of our CRM system. Here we will discuss the main page of the CRM user application. This is the CRM admin application, which is used by the administrator, and this is the CRM user application. Double click. Now we spoke about the color code and quick access, queue access in the last video. You can see here 3 red boxes. This one is today you have the following. If you have, for example, 3 appointments registered for today, then you will find number 3 here. And if you click at this box, you will enter the calendar database for the current user and for the appointments of today, because choose records, it is between 2 dates, but it is the same date, so it's actually the records for today. And we will speak about this matter in great details in a future video. However, we are just making a quick introduction to the main page. Issues that have not been addressed. If you have, for example, 5 appointments or 5 scheduled events that passed and you did not provide a feedback for them, then you will find the number 5 here. And if you click at this box, you will reach the calendar database for the current user and for all the records that has not been addressed. It means that they passed but without a feedback. As I said, we will discuss this in great details in a future video. Now, calendar changes related to you. Any changes that happen to your appointments, whether this change happened by you or by someone else, will be shown here in the changed database. You have the view button. This will lead you to the modules in the CRM system. You have the calendar, you have the contacts, and as we said before, each module will consist of a database which will show a list of records in that database and pages which will provide the data for each record. So you have here, for example, the contact database and the contact page. Similarly is for companies, assets, projects, finance, which is invoices and purchases, materials, which is the material itself, and the stock, which is the materials in store. The CRM files, which we will discuss later in a future video. Changed log. As we said before, any change happens to a record will be recorded. The change will be recorded. So the last change happened in the system was in this record, which is contact ID 1, this one, and the last thing was the company was changed to our company. The field company was changed to our company. It was nothing and it was our company, and if we look at the record, this is the change. Knowledge base, we will discuss it in a future video. Database options will provide a list of options. Actually, there is 2 sets of options here. There is Control A and there is database options, which you can view it from Control A or you can view it from the view itself. Now, Control A provide another set of options, as we have said. We call it Control A because you can access it by the click of the mouse, or you can access it by the keyboard. Just enter Control A and you will have an access to this list. User details is just the details of the current user, and the database type here is access. As we have said before, we have two types of storage: the back end of the system, either Access database or MySQL server, and at the moment we are dealing with an Access database. Quick calendar, just a quick calendar. Windows calculator, it will open the Windows calculator. Windows keyboard, just open the Windows keyboard, and you can use this keyboard rather than the physical keyboard. On-screen keyboard. This is a mini keyboard that you can also use. Server time. Now, in both MySQL server and Access database, both of them will be located in the server, and the CRM applications will be connected to that server, and this is the time of the server, not the time of the local machine. Color control, we spoke about it in the previous video. Access note is just a note saying that this system has been tested thoroughly with Access Runtime 2007. Also, the system can work with many other Access versions, as we have provided the system in both 32-bit and 64-bit. However, Access 2016 32-bit was unable to show pictures. Microsoft acknowledged this problem and solved it later. Therefore, if you find that this system does not respond as expected, then you can test it using Access Runtime 2007 or Access Runtime 2010, which both can be downloaded free from Microsoft website. This is just a note. End programs. If you have a lengthy process, for example, there is a backup system in the database options, and in this backup you can back up the documents in the CRM systems to a USB memory stick, and then you start the process and it was lengthy and you want to end it. You can just go to Control A and click End Programs and it will stop it. This is the database options. This is the Control A options to return back to the Control A options. Create desktop shortcut. Now, the application that we are dealing with here is at the desktop. However, if it was in a directory, then you can create a desktop shortcut by clicking here, and you will find the desktop here. Disable security note and enable security note. Let's enable the security note first. Yes, done. Let's quit, return back, double click, and you will find this notice, Microsoft Access Security Notice. Open, and you are back to the CRM system, and we can disable this note or this notice. Disable security note. Done. Return back. and you are entering the CRM system without that notice. Compact after close. This is a standard option for access, and you can just make it happen by clicking here. Quit. Yes. And then you can return back. Speed versus information. The option is for all information. Here there is README that will explain this option. Now, if you are in a local network, the network will be fast, so you don't really need maximum speed because you are in a maximum speed. However, if you are in a different network and you are connected to the server by VPN application, then you might have slower network, and in this case you might prefer maximum speed. A note here will appear in the main page, and what happens is that when you click at the pages, not all the information will appear. For example, the history, relations, files, and related projects will not appear here in the. We will speak about these buttons in a later video. However, as a quick introduction here, in maximum speed, the information here will not appear, but only 2 dashes will appear. However, you can find all the information related to this particular page by clicking at options, get all information, and you will get all the information related to this page. And you can click here and return back to all information. File folder dialog. We have 2 options here. There is the help first of all. It will explain this option. At the moment it's Windows dialog, but we can put it as the application dialog. And just to show what's the difference, in the application dialog, if you want to upload a file, the application dialog will appear to choose the file required. However, in a Windows dialog, if we return back to the same page, a Windows dialog will appear to choose a file. Mouse wheel options. There is help here related to the mouse wheel option, and the default is by scroll, and let's show that clearly. This is a help page and there is a lot of information here, and if we scroll the wheel, we will moving down by the scroll. This is the scroll option. However, changing the option, for example, to a page, return back to the same information, and you are moving per page. You are moving page per page. Returning back to the option and make it by line. And you are moving here line by line. And the default is by scroll. edit extra fields, we will discuss it in detail in a future video. Backup system, here where you can, this is the source folder where the database and uploaded documents are stored, and you can make a backup for this folder to a USB memory stick. You can choose the location of this memory stick by this dialog, and then you can click start. Refresh database files will be discussed in a future video. And we have the calendar button, which will lead you to your local logs, which is your calendar database, your appointment and scheduled activities. In the main page as well, we have the refresh red box. Sometimes the main page does not come at the center of the screen, and when you click at refresh, it will return it back to the center. Before ending this video, I would like to clarify one thing here. Editing extra fields, backup system, and refresh database files are privileged options controlled in the admin page. If these options were enabled in the admin page, then the user will be able to see these options. If they were disabled, then the current user, will not be able to see these options. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching.